Welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of Larps and Tarps. My name is Morgan, and I'm joined by my usual co-hosts who are going to say hello all at once. 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Alex,
Hi.
Chloe. Oh, for fuck's sake, Tom. Right from the top. Hello.
Hello.
This week we're continuing our coverage of E4. I think after our successive ramblings, we've made it somewhere towards midday on the Saturday. So roughly there, I think. So should we kick off with who wants to go first? Where
Definitely not me. I didn't do that much, so I've not got that much to talk about.
Yeah,
I was dead.
Yeah.
you're alive again now.
Yeah, I'm born again.
Born again.
bearer. Born again in the
Baron's
Baron's
Name.
bearer.
That should maybe should be your nickname.
Born again, banner bearer, bearer.
Born again, Baron's born bearer.
Baron born bearer, the banner bearer. Bearer.
I'm too sober for this.
I think we're pretty much getting towards the skirmish section of the podcast where three of us, maybe four of us, all went on skirmishes.
Yeah, we actually skirmished.
Oh, what a treat.
Did you go on Saturday skirmishes as well?
I did.
Wow.
You wish for a skirmish for a whole year and the monkey paw goes, Alex dies, and then you get more than you can handle.
There was a Saturday skirmish.
Yeah. You chose not to go on it.
Well, he was dead,
So-
to be fair.
Yeah.
I do not
think-
remember that at
Were you
all.
balls
don't know
deep
if you
a
were in
kettle of
camp.
ale?
I don't know if you were in camp at that time. You
What?
might have been out selling mead. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, I'm looking forward to hearing
there
about
was a skirmish. Can't fully remember what it was for, but they needed to muster up like 20 Navari. And I was like, yeah, when they were like gate in 15 minutes, I was like, cool, sound. So got ready. A couple of people came with me. So it was Leg, Corin, and Orwin. And we got to the gate and we had just missed our skirmish, like about 3-4 minutes they had already gone through. We're like, oh shit. But then luckily some really, really nice winter markers were like, oh hey, just come on this skirmish with us. Like, it'll be cool. And yeah, it was some of the people we know from Corvinhall, which was pretty fucking cool and really nice. So we went on,
Corvinhall.
yeah, really sound people. We went on this skirmish and it was to retrieve or find some kind of cache. How do you say it?
Cash.
I never know how to pronounce it. People pronounce it differently and it's weird.
I'm pretty sure it's just cash.
Cash, yeah.
There's no accent over the top, so just cash.
Cash.
Cash
We had
money.
to retrieve that. So that was cool. We did that. And so did that.
What was the skirmish like?
Pretty easy, honestly. We just came on the field, wiped. There was like very minimal. I think it was Jotun or Druge. Don't remember.
It was an
Were they
enemy.
in green or red?
Don't know.
The winter folk like hitting Jotun, so I have to assume it was probably Jotun.
I mean, I think it maybe might have been Jotun. But yeah, it was a very quick sweep. There were not many of them and there were a lot of us. We just spent the whole time running around the entirety of the woods around the fort and just in the field trying to find it. And there was about 7 different points where someone had said we had found it, but we hadn't. So kind of just gave up, went back through the gate and we had found it. So yeah, that was pretty fun. Have no idea what it was for or what it was towards, but it was a fun little scrap.
Classic.
Oh,
A
lovely.
classic Chloe.
Go, Morgan. What was your skirmish?
So I had managed to defeat a bunch of stuff had happened that I'm skipping over, including 2 of the tournaments. One which was like I was championing someone for the end of the Grand Tour, and there was a tournament which was like a series of 1-on-1s, which was really fun. And the person who knocked me out ended up winning the whole thing, so I don't feel too bad. There was also the Night Protector tournament, which was a lot of fun. I think that was... Oh, I've already spoken about that. So yeah, it was the Grand Tour finale. The thing I was going on was... So as we've previously mentioned, there was a competition hosted by Barrion, where you were fighting with people to win their favours. And I'd only won 7 favours.
Only 7?
Only 7. Had some fun winning them. It was a good laugh. Handed those in, and I was like, whatever. Here's my 7 favours. I'm sure I've not won. I've got stuff at the gate. I'd been told that there was a Whispers Through the Black Gate happening for Otis. So I had gone up to the Sentinel Gate with an eye on the Regio the whole time, because I was like, it's fine, because they're all going to turn up there, and I'll go to the Whispers Through the Black Gate. Not what was happening. at all. So,
I have no idea why you'd heard this.
I do now because I spoke to them and they were making they were talking about next summit, but they said I thought they said there's gonna be a Whispers Through the Black Gate and it would be really good if you were there. And I was like, absolutely, I'm going to be round here anyway, so I'll just keep an eye for when it happens. But that's not what happened. That's not what was going on. I was very much like keeping an eye. I was like, when's it going to happen? Because I was like, great, I can run over there and I can just hang in this general vicinity. Anyway, I'm sat in the little Khazar getting my hero points up because they have a Leonid pavilion every summit, and it's like you drop 5 rings and you can sit in there for 15 minutes and get your hero points back. As I'm sat there having a chat with people, I look over and I see Revel, like one of Barion's chief heralds, coming up. I'm like, Revel, did I get in? And he went, yes, hurry up. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, you're in. And I was like, oh, okay. So I got my hero points. I went up to the gate. Turns out the threshold was 3 favors. So the person who got the least, who still got in, was 3. So it was like...
quite a margin.
Yeah. And I wonder how many people didn't bother because they're like, oh, I've only got a few. I'm not going to bother. So it's really interesting that's how it worked out.
Yeah.
But then we all lined up to go through the gate. It was very funny because I had a skirmish later with part of like an order I was involved with to deal with the Deadwood Knight. And I was like, just heads up, I'm going through to do a competition. I'll be back out in time for the conjunction. It's like, looks at me like, you better be. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. Jumped through the gate. And there was, everyone from Anvil was allowed to go to this. So there was like a viewing area where people could watch the fighting. And then there was a series of wooden markers in a big circle. 24 wooden markers in a big circle. And then in the center of the ring, there were shields, spears, swords, daggers, potions, all sorts scattered in the middle. And in order, we were called up, the champions, to go stand on these different wooden markers. So we were at 24 different points in this big old circle. Revel was explaining the fight. There was a sword that was up for grabs. There was like the best sword Baryons ever forged or something. And then basically it was like called to fight. And I think the fighting must have lasted like 20 minutes. It was going on for ages. But there was like mini teams kept emerging as you were like trying to sort people out. So a bunch of Dornish were like ganging together and dealing with someone. And then someone got too big and clever, so he split up and attacked them. It was like back and forth attacking people. It was pretty fun. There were some good dramatic fighters in there, which was good. It's nice to see a bit of a show going on.
Any paddle boarding?
No, there was some questionable fighting, but it's fine. It was mostly good fun. I had a lot of fun with like there was somebody there who was so helpful, who picked up every single potion. And every time I was down, I was like, oh, have you got any potions? Like, yeah. I was like, can I have one? I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, got back up again. There was one point where I was lying on my back and Revel came up and was like, do you want to tap out, Tristan? He was like, I was like, I had a ruined limb, but I had my hits left. I was like, no, I'm going to wait for a little bit because I don't think anyone's going to attack me. And whilst I'm waiting, someone might give me a potion. He's like, all right. I just stood there on my knee for like a good 5 minutes. And then this March came up. I was like, hey, you got an Ossian solution in there. Looked in his bag. Yeah, here you go. Oh, brilliant. Thanks. Got back up again.
Incredible.
Joined the fight again. Several times I've been down. I was like, March, have you got any potions? Ran over, gave him. I was like, brilliant.
Would have been a great time to sell potions.
You weren't allowed to use any potions that weren't in the start of the fight.
No, I mean, just like, if the Marcher was there...
He could have sold me potion. I'd been fuming. But yeah, it was great.
Did you have any money on you?
Sorry?
Yeah, but would you have had any money on you? Yeah.
Had a lot of fun. There was a little group of people who were cheering me on, which was really nice, including Twig was there. And Twig was like, oh, I don't have a flag. So took their apron off, cut their hand open and put a T on their apron, put it on a stick and started waving it. It was a big bloody T for Tristan.
I thought it was a T for Twig.
Yeah, it probably could have been.
But it can be as well, I guess. But it was just very funny, just very Twig. Like, I'm just draw some memorabilia. Really cool fight. It was down to like the last 5 or 6. I think the last guy I had, we were like fighting for ages for a little bit, and I was like, right, I'm ready. I'm just going to throw my all in because this has been going on for too long. I've got a skirmish to go on. And then, yeah, really cool. There was 2 people left. One guy was on one knee and the other guy was standing, and they were taking ages to kind of like, they kept stopping and talking and then going back in, stopping and talking. And everyone was like, kill him! He's on one leg. What are you doing? It was like spending ages, and it was like keep hitting each other. It was like, how many hits do you have? Hurry up! It was very fun. One person won, got the pinnacle sword. It was very cool. But that was like a really cool kind of like big crowd going there to watch a big tournament, which was a really good laugh. I ran off that skirmish and I turned to the person who was in charge of the Deadwood Night one. I was like, right, I'm going to the little Kazar. I'll be back. And he's like, well, the skirmish is in 20 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I only need 15. He's like, you better bloody be here. I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. Don't you worry about it. I'm fine. And then ran down to the little Kazar. But that was the Varian tourney, which I was really excited about. And I'm so glad I got to get into the actual fight.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was very much like Hunger Games. You know, when they called the thing, everyone ran into the middle to get weapons and potions and stuff and came out.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And again, the Wind of Fortune written for that was, I think, the best Wind of Fortune I've ever read.
I
was
didn't read it.
Cool. It was so good. It was amazing. But yes, I will pass on to someone else.
I went on the Tesartan Hills skirmish. Hooray!
What was in the Tesartan Hills?
Yeah, well,
What was in the Tesartan Hills?
Jotun were in the Tesartan Hills trying to steal our fifth frickin' mithril. How bloody dare they?
The audacity.
The audacity of those...
that's
that's more of a Grendel thing, but how dare those Jotun try and steal our mithril, especially because we need all that mithril to fund armies. Anyway, got hard on the contract, we got paid to go and defend the Tesartan Hills, which is extra cool because that's the city I come from. And out of a nation where nothing much tends to happen compared to the rest of the other nations, out of all the cities, Tasato has the least ever going on of it. So like, fucking Jotun in Tasato, something's going on. We gotta put a stop to... My muff's falling off. No! Put the muff back on. Nothing ever happens in Tasato. We gotta maintain the stagnation of boringness. So we all march up, get up to the gate. We were sweating a bit that we wouldn't have enough because I think a lot of leaguers that agreed to go on the Tesartan Hills skirmish died in the battle previously in that day, considering about 9 or 10 of the national bloc got killed, which for the national bloc is a lot.
Yeah.
Luckily, we were able to pick up some people that were coming out of the gate. It's like, mate, you want to come on another skirmish? Like, yeah. Straight back on, so they got to the bottom of the line. March out, simple formation, push the Jotun back. It wasn't much of an objective, just clear them out of the Tesartan Hills, stop them getting any mithril. There was an orc with a very silly hat, who I believe is a friend of ours, who cleaved my leg twice. I believe he's from Dark Star Photography.
Oh,
Like, yeah. Fucker got my leg.
silly hat.
Got healed straight back up. Got my leg instantly again.
It's just going for your legs.
It's my problem. I have unarmored legs.
Come on.
I need to go whole hog armor.
Have you got anything on your shins?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just your thighs.
Just my meaty thighs.
Yeah, sure.
That
Your
are
gams.
unguarded. I was talking to him afterwards, and apparently he was like, yeah, there was one person, a silly wig we were going for. It's like, that was me! He was like, yeah, we were going to steal the wig.
You make yourself a target, yeah.
Yeah, the wig seems to make myself a target. So next time I think I'm going to wear that stupid helmet.
It is.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
yes, please wear
helmet.
that. Oh, no, but what if it gets broken
You need
on
to
the
get a chin strap for it, though,
battlefield?
because it'll come off.
Yeah, it actually fits on, because of the gym mat make, it kind of slots onto my bald head and stays there.
I can just imagine it
got
comes,
grip.
it comes off with like a thunk.
It does. How did you know?
Think of a suction cup. But yeah, successful skirmish. It did look a bit hairy at one point because you weren't heavily armoured. There was quite a few numbers. Looted some bodies. Always makes me happy to get a bit of loot. And then we buggered off home. But when we got home, there was someone waiting there for me with a little present. It was a mercenary captain from the Haldagan who wanted to come up with the idea of a mercenary union. And you know what Larpers are like. They can't have a game without forming a fucking union, can we? The idea is to support each other, be a brotherhood.
Just quickly.
Yeah.
This does just sound like the national bloc.
But for the mercenaries.
But but
Stupid.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I completely knew what you were saying. And I was kind of agreeing. I like being independent until he drew out the helmet.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, though speaking of LARPers not being able to not form unions, did you know that the puppet show group that I have, there's a backstage prop holders union for the people who hold the stage. Like, I think we need to be paid more. We do very critical work.
Face it, the Empire's just full of unions.
But it's also funny because I think this has been pointed out before that everybody at the at Empire owns a significant resource.
Yeah.
It's like herb gardens, farms, businesses. It's like we are the owners of the means of production. And the idea of us being like, we need a union is very funny.
Yeah.
I need a union for my little side hustle.
But essentially, they want to make a mercenary chest, a lot like the National Bloc. So, yeah, the mercs might be unionizing. But all I know is I have a helmet that says Grand Capitan.
The mercenaries, they're organising.
Fuck! To be fair, compared to the National Bloc that has usually 20 to 35 members, considering how many mercs there are, we do make a sizable force.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I just think it's very funny that it's like the National Bloc is like we're the the core group of the league, and we're here to support each other and give each other resources, and make sure we're getting stuff done together. You guys are like the same thing but private.
Are we the baddies? Are we private fighting forces?
All mercenary companies are equal, but some are more equal.
I mean, like, that's comparison to jackdaws and reapers, isn't it? Did you know, actually, I'll stop this tangent, but our tailor, Esme, reached into this dog, pulled out a fortune, and it said, or was it a truth? The truth eventually said, jackdaws are just reapers who couldn't afford the dye.
I don't know who planted that, but
Hard truth.
Funny.
Hilarious.
What do you mean reached inside a dog?
oh, the keeper, the custodian of the kennels.
Yeah, one of the
basically-
Yeah.
Have you heard of the custodian of the
I
kennels?
have.
Yes. So basically, they get part of the role is you get this taxidermy dog. I mean, I don't think it's actually taxidermy or whatever. I mean, presumably not.
Do you reach in the mouth or?
I don't know. I didn't see the dog.
I believe
personally.
you reach in the mouth.
Given the league, it's probably the other way.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd be funny if you had to put your hand up its butt.
Yeah, no, but apparently it's got truths inside it, and you can pull out.
And one of the
truths.
truths is the jackdaws are just
The reapers,
that couldn't afford the dye.
Happy, ecstatic. But yes, massive well done to Esme, who won the first title of custodian of the kennels.
Also, Esme, who started the Backstage Puppeteers Union.
Oh my goodness!
Bloody union.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And the
They're gonna
Jackals also got another hat of Lana winning Mistress of Ceremonies, which is an unpaid job, but means they have to organise all the big events in the league, including the Reapers.
They don't get any dog butt fortunes, though.
That's a shame.
Crying shame. Anyway, I'll stop my tangents now.
What were you up to, Alex?
So Anna made these bacon flapjacks.
Are they the ones that Rocky just bought every one of them?
Rocky bought her out, I think. Bought every
I
last
didn't
one.
get to try these.
They were insane.
It was one of the most incredible things I've ever eaten.
Can we just say Alex has taken his glasses off for this? This is not good.
I'm having
He's
a
like, I don't need
moment.
to see, I need to recall.
Yeah. No, they were like, because obviously you've got everything. You've got sweet, salty, savoury.
Bacon.
I know it's not everything, but you got all the important.
It's everything I want out of life,
Umami.
Alex.
Umami, yeah. You've got all of those nice flavour profiles, and they were sensational. Rocky had one, and these little bacon flavoured flapjack love hearts popped open in his eyes like a cartoon character. And he was like, Anna, I'm buying all of them. And he did. So we ate those and chatted and smoked a cigar. And to be honest, it was so fucking long ago. I can't remember. I didn't
Yeah.
even remember that there was a skirmish on Saturday.
Yeah, I think you're off selling because
Oh,
I had to
maybe,
make sure
yeah.
you were back because I had my thing at 4:30.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to talk about that?
I had this vision of trying to bring Navarre back together in a way. Not that it had fallen apart,
No,
but
but it's just such a big nation.
no, just that groups are very within themselves. and-
Siloed.
Sure. And, there's people that are off murking for different people and stuff like that. And that's not really our way. So, but also,
Dirty non-league mercs.
Basically,
Dirty
you wanted
league.
to go and tell off all those Navari that are doing it wrong.
No, because there's
I know,
no
I'm
there's no
joking.
right or wrong way. But like, just in my head, like I had this vision, like we've got this big fat or fucking Valorn button that's gonna get pressed, and shit
Yeah.
is about to get real. So it's all been a bit shit recently, and it's all going to get a whole lot shitter. So E4 is like the Dread Shield's anniversary. Last year we had like a cool little first birthday party that I organised for us, in which the wonderful and now deceased Merlin or Randall played his first ever performance, and He has played his last now, unfortunately. But yeah, so last year we had our birthday party, and I thought this year, instead of just celebrating us as Dread Shields, it was celebrating everything that we are and everything that we've achieved, and that was the nation of Navarre. So I'd hired out the military council tent for an hour, which everyone, I'd sent out invitations to a lot of like the fighter groups that we know or people that we have connections with, and just people that were important to us in one way or another. And that we could just spend an hour chilling out, not doing anything, having a drink, and not worry about getting killed for for a short, brief time. But I think because it was at 4:30, a lot of people had kind of forgotten, or they were off doing things, and, you know, not many people had remembered, which was kind of a bit shit. But
At first.
yeah, Anna got a bit of a bee in a bonnet and went and shouted at a load of people. But do you know what? The people that turned up first and remembered to come first was Black Scar. And I was like, do you know what? Like, obviously, if you're in Navarre, you kind of know that obviously there's this whole thing about like Navarre and Black Scar, about, you know, they're a bit distant and whatever. But, you know, they're really cool guys. Some of them depending on which ones you interact with. But, you know, they were really cool. A couple of them, like, I've kind of interacted with before. But, yeah, they came. A few other groups came that, like, Neve's friends with, or the Dread Shields are friends with. And it turned out to be, like, a lot of fun. We had, I think their name is Ira. Ira Lark song. I might have got that wrong. I'm really sorry if I have. But they were playing their violin. So some of our lot, surprisingly, our lot had started knife fights in the corner. So it started for the ribbons for the tourney, like someone challenging someone else, and then it just turned into Navarre knife fighting, which is very Navarre.
Either of you two ever been in a Navarre knife fight then?
A one-handed, what is it? They tie your hands together, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a knife fight with bread at the party.
Oh, nice.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, there was a lot of dancing. Like the final song, we were like, we want everyone to get up and dance and just really enjoy it. So everyone in the tent was dancing with everyone. It turned out to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. So I'm gonna maybe try and do it every E4, make it kind of like an annual thing.
Our friends from the, I'm going to get this wrong now, band
Shatter
Song Diaries. I didn't get it wrong.
Have they changed the name?
I don't know.
I don't think they have.
The Dead Shatter Song Diaries, I think they called it for a bit.
Rival podcasters.
Don't start beef with another one, Tom, please.
Never. Start beef with every podcast.
We literally did a collab with them very recently.
Did we?
Yeah, the Oasis one is a collab with those guys and Lab Noobs. But they were saying how much they loved it. They thought it was really good fun. Yeah, it was really nice to hear that. In fact, they told me about it out of the context of realizing that I knew you, which is really funny. They're like, "Oh, someone did like a Navarre gathering, and it was really cool." I was like, "Oh yeah, that was our friend from the podcast."
Oh, no.
But yeah,
just your friend from the podcast. I see how it is.
Okay, that's not exactly
sorry.
what I said.
My colleague over at Larps and Tarps, I think you mean.
So yes, my colleague, my professional colleague,
Yes.
professional podcaster, Chloe Snowden.
Don't dox me.
What would you want me to say? But yeah, no, so he sounds really cool. I was saying this as well. It's nice when you do the big gatherings because you had
Jack Does Party,
Glory Gala. It's nice to have these kind of big social meetings. So
Yeah.
no, I think it was really cool he did that. It's awesome.
Like Anwin was saying that she really enjoyed it. She was like, please make this a regular thing. Like, I've absolutely loved this. Please do it often. I was like, oh yeah, I might, I do. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing it.
Did they say that I see?
Yeah.
Well, you have to now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to.
I know. It's to honour the wishes.
What about you, Kerry? What was the Vigilance Goose up to throughout this day?
I have talked about everything that I did or that I remember doing up until the funeral, basically. So unless we're ready to move on to that, if anyone else wants to say anything else before?
No, we kind of had to wrap up the party, clean the military council tent, and go straight
Get
to
to the funeral,
Otis's
yeah.
funeral. So
God,
I went
Otis,
from
why are you such a bummer? Why do you have to die?
I went from such like a big fun party high to like the biggest somber low.
I know.
Oh, that
It
must
was
be
very
such an
emotional.
roller coaster.
It just
Every
made-
event has
Yeah, I was
been,
going to say LARP
recently,
is. Yeah.
There's never like 1 hour where you're in one like constant
Frame of mind.
emotion that just constantly keeps switching.
yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild. But yeah, so we had Otis's funeral, which Otis's nearest and dearest, bar one, attended. So
Yeah, I was waiting with an eye on the regio, like they'll be here soon. I am sure.
Meanwhile, in the corpse
They'll
glade,
arrive soon, I'm sure. And if not, after this skirmish, they'll be there, so it's fine. They're still not there. So I am dreadfully sorry for
It's
misunderstanding.
Tristan
I want to
can
see a portrait of Tristan on a tree in Navarre just with knives hanging out of it.
or Neve will just stab Tristan for real.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Tristan has apologised and
Yes.
he can make it up to Neve by buying her a drink next time.
Yes. I think we said that we were going to meet up in downtime anyway, didn't we?
Yeah, have you figured out? Oh, we'll work this out after the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll figure out what's happening with that.
But yeah, it was a wonderful ceremony.
Yeah.
We all marched. Literally, there was that many of us walking down to the funeral that someone stopped us and was like, "Is there something going on?" Like, we're like, no, our friend is dead. Actually,
Like, there's, usually a pretty good turnout for a lot of people and stuff, but the Corpse Glade is not very big. And
yeah, no, we
there
were
were
spilling out. Yeah,
there were a good 40 of us stood in the Corpse Glade.
yeah, I can imagine that.
Like, there was quite a few. But yeah, what was it from your perspective? 'Cause
Oh well, emotional for starters. Seeing you, get very emotional brought some tears to my eyes, which is quite rare for me at LARP. Like, I know you get really emotionally entangled in the game. I'm just like, phew, holiday. But then you're like actually getting really emotional. So I was like, Chloe, sorry, Neve. But yeah, no. I'll say seeing you hang on like the token, the little Dread Shields token on the banner,
Yeah.
and like knowing but Gwyn's is there as well, and I don't want to talk about too much because I want you to also talk about it. You know what I mean?
That's fine.
So but yeah, I think it was very sad and very somber. But I think there was also little light moments
Yeah.
with I want to say Merlin, but that's his
IC name.
IC
Randall.
name, yeah. No, IC name Randall, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Randall really. I think that's how Otis would have wanted it to be like. Really,
That's why
genuinely.
when I shouted at Tristan, I was on Randall Quest to ask Randall to play at Otis' funeral because I was
Yeah.
like, there's no one else that he would want at his funeral other than the ridiculous Randall. So of
Yeah.
course.
But yeah, what was he sang a song
About kissing Otis and his wonderful sausage.
It was all about Otis's wonderful sausage, and the last line was something about kissing.
Oh, and I've
him.
kissed him.
And it was amazing, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying so.
Like he fully freestyled that.
I was gonna say, I kind of got the vibe he was freestyling, but also I was like, but is this prepared? But he's like pretending to freestyle because like it was really good.
true Randall fashion. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no. He completely made it up on the whim and it was fantastic.
That it was really good. Yeah.
What was
I
it
just
like?
Didn't hear it.
Yeah, what was it like from Nietzsche's point of view?
It took Tom as a person to a weird place.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tom's- yeah.
I don't really get too torn up about LARP death.
No.
But
yeah.
seeing you crying in the corpse glade took me out of LARP and say,
Oh, I'm so
one of my
sorry.
close friends is crying over the OC partner,
Yeah.
who is also a close friend.
Yeah.
My God, what if I'm going to have to sit through this in real life one day?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeesh.
Just like,
no.
Tom is no longer, Nietzsche's no longer in LARP mode. Tom's just like in a church somewhere in like 50 years' time, maybe. Like,
Tom.
God.
I'm so sorry.
Fucking hell. Not even I go that deep. Like, Jesus.
I have a
fucking
weird
hell.
relationship since COVID with a phobia of
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
death,
Mortality,
Yeah.
yeah.
mortality.
And thanks to Flying Ned for giving me that as well.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, for about 5 minutes, I'm like, oh no, just like the ringing in my ears of not really paying attention. But the ceremony
Yeah.
was fantastic. Everyone spoke well. I'm glad I had a short little
Yeah,
speech. Like,
that was really nice.
I see I'm like, OC Alex is a good friend. I see I'm not as close with Otis because like
Yeah.
I'll just go for a drink occasionally at the Dread Shield. So like I'll talk about the kettle and ale and make it
Yeah.
short and sweet. And bit more of a funny one, but I'm glad I did. It's nice to add another nation talking the Corpse Glade about Otis, rather than just Navari, and of course the Dornish spoke afterwards.
Yeah.
And even had the great song.
I would.
What's Bung's character called?
Gwydion.
Gwydion,
But
yeah.
while standing there, I remember Bung in the LARP Noobs podcast has previously been talking about Hallowings and whatnot. So I was thinking,
Oh my god.
wait a second, Gwydion, is it?
Yeah.
Gwydion, I think,
Gwydion.
TH, yeah.
He's a priest. He can do priesty things. So I whisper in his ear, do you think you could get the kettle hallowed to courage? And he just looks at me, he's like, yeah, I can get that done. I can't hallow it myself. But I've got the Liao. I'll find the people. Do you need some funding for us? No, I've got this. I will sort this out. Thanks for the idea. So I was like, yay, I had a good idea.
You're both
Honestly.
such heroes for that. I hadn't shed many tears at that point up until I saw the kettle. And it had the ribbon on and it said Kettle of Ale. And I did shed a tear at that. I thought that was
beautiful.
so sweet.
The fact
really
that it's
was.
now an official thing. There's a ribbon that has Kettle of Ale written on it.
Yeah.
They're going to keep that as like a little LARP souvenir for now and forever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, it'll still be coming to LARP because
Yeah.
Bera inherited Otis's belongings.
How long does the Hallowing last?
I think it was a year.
Possibly.
I'm giving it a proper read, to be honest.
Okay.
Giving it a proper drink, but not a proper read.
Yeah. It's harder to read when you've had a kettle of ale.
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly. Yeah.
Maybe you should raise the money for Ilium to make it a permanent enchantment on the kettle. It'll
Yeah.
cost a fucking fortune.
Halloween's don't expire.
Fun?
Halloween's don't
I
expire.
thought they did.
I think so.
Oh, well, there you are then.
It's not a magic
Well,
item.
we did actually use that kettle, but I'll say that was on Sunday, so I'll save that. But it did actually come in handy.
Yeah.
It
Nice.
was.
Anyway, how was the funeral for you two?
I didn't go.
Oh, yeah, you
No,
sat it
yeah.
out.
Yeah, I mean, I walked up and I saw everyone gathering around the Corpse Glade, and it just felt like it wasn't. This isn't for me.
Yeah.
This is for all you guys. And I felt like if I'd have been there, it would have been strange. I don't know.
Yeah, I went to my own funeral at Hoyst and it was a little bit like, should I be here? I feel like I shouldn't be here.
You're a lot better than me. I'll be there. Stroke
yes,
my ego.
It is nice.
Oh, same. Yeah, 100%.
Look at who's crying.
Not crying hard enough.
Sorry, no, it does last a year. Apologies.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I got the feel, and also I felt like if I was there, people might not be able to act or be as freely, and it would also feel more genuine if the person you're having a funeral for
Wasn't
there.
stood there, yeah.
Yeah. So I walked back to camp and I saw Talos on the way, and he was like, "Oh, you coming?" I was like, "I'm going to sit this one out," and he gave me a big hug, bless him.
I love
And then
Talos.
he's such a lovely guy. And I went back to the Dreadshields camp, which is always a hive of activity. There's always people in and out of tents or having a drink or a laugh or cooking or from many nations there. And it was the first time I'd ever seen it empty. I was the only one there. And it was just surreal for it to be quiet. Because obviously not only the Dreadshields was empty, but the surrounding camps like the Ashbournes and things was empty as well. So I just sat there for a bit and just looked around, and it was just really surreal. Just really strange moment, but it was nice. It felt like I had a chance to kind of say goodbye to the character and kind of start to move on from Otis and get into Bera a bit more.
I know, like I've said, you were the last person I'd see dying first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always had our money on me or you. Didn't we, Clara?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I
It was
really
like
thought, yeah.
With one of us two, I was like, we're going to kick it first. But yeah.
It's just because we insert ourselves into dangerous situations
Yeah.
more often.
Yeah, exactly.
We're more high risk.
I think it's really interesting what you say about like being there affecting stuff as well.
Yeah.
So I was talking to a mate of mine whose character died at E3 2023. Yeah. And he's not been to Empire since. So that really nails the fact that he's gone.
Yeah.
Which has been really. He's coming back next year, but he had to take a year off Empire. And it's just one. You're right though, because it's like the fact you can't see them. You're like, this
They're
person's
gone.
dead.
Yeah.
I have not seen this person. It's someone whose like character's death has really affected me because I'm like,
Yeah.
they're gone now. I haven't seen them for this whole year. It's really motivated a lot of stuff, and it's true. And it's like sad because I'd love to be. I want to go to Tristan's funeral if they haven't
Absolutely,
recovered
To be
their
honest,
body.
if we get the Jackdaws' bodies back, most of
Yes.
them have lied down.
Well,
and will
yes.
say the
Yeah.
words.
What I'm saying is, if there's a situation where they haven't got my body back,
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
like to be there. But yeah, no, I fully get what you mean, where you're like, it makes sense for them to, because that would be worse, because it's he's not here.
I really
Yeah.
wished I had something to say, like when everyone was like doing the little bits, and it unlocked a little LARP mini goal for me to like have like something to say when there's like a funeral. And then we went to Hoist a couple of weeks later, and there was a couple of funerals, and both times I did a little speech.
Hey.
So yes. Hopefully next time one of you guys dies, I'll have something to say about it.
Hopefully no one else dies.
Hopefully no one else dies, yeah.
Fingers crossed. But
Yeah, it was certainly an experience for me. Like, I never thought that I would be saying words. I know it's obviously our LARP characters, but Otis was still Neve's bonded partner.
yeah, they literally
Like-
got bonded this summit before.
Yeah, and yeah, it was not a nice feeling.
No.
I cried a lot of the weekend. There were so many people that came up to me and were like, "I'm really sorry for your loss." Like I mentioned about the skirmish earlier from Corvin Hall, and like a couple of them came up to me and found me in camp. We've never really interacted IC, but they came and found me in camp and were like, "I'm sorry for your loss. Like, tell me about Otis. Tell me stories about him. This is how we honour in Wintermark. So we honour your fallen." I was given feathers as tokens, which is what they do as well. There were people from the league that I barely even knew coming up and speaking to me. Like, there were so many people that came to console Neve, and it was honestly, it was so beautiful. And I think I opened the funeral because I was the one that spoke first, and I think I opened the funeral with saying, it's so humbling and overwhelming seeing how many people were stood there for Otis. Seeing all these faces from different nations. Everyone had such a different reason for being there. And it was just so lovely, like seeing how loved he was.
Yeah.
And it was just so sad but lovely at the same time. It's a really bizarre feeling to try and explain, but yeah, it was really, really nice. As far as funerals can go.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, I just couldn't stop crying. But, you know, we laugh now because if we laugh, then we can't cry.
I don't know. I can do both.
Anyway, and then we had some drinks and
Yes.
decided to flip the emotions on their head and have a bit of a celebration, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did go for some drinks, yes, but I had to quickly reflip back into serious mode, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. I've rambled on a bit, so
I did enjoy the funeral because I got to have a special occasion to crack out the helmet for the first time.
yeah, when you rocked up wearing that, I was like, why has he got a chicken hat?
It's a beautiful helmet.
Fuck, it truly is the witch hat from What We Do in the
Yeah.
Shadows.
What we do in the shadows.
Have I
It's
ever felt
Nietzsche's
more like
cursed
Nigel?
helmet.
It is a witch's anus.
Yeah, Kerry was like, that is not going anywhere in the house. And we have a
cursed.
nice drinks globe. That was given to me. It's like, fuck, it suits it there so
I
well.
literally just put it straight down. I was like, damn it, now it's a centerpiece. For God's sake.
I have noticed it's been covered by other things, though.
Yeah, that's other Tom's hats. Tom has many
It's become a
hats.
hat
Didn't
stand.
Circuit's grandma make one of them?
Oh, that was
Yeah.
so lovely.
Mine is blue. It's upstairs.
Aw.
Thank you,
Yeah, I've got
Circuit's
a blue
grandma.
one as well, yeah.
Yeah, I think the last thing I really did of the day was as soon as Otis's funeral was done, I had a massage booked in for. I thought, yeah, you know what? I've got a depressing.
I need
thing
to
first.
get an
Let's-
IC massage.
Let's go and
Yeah.
get a massage afterwards. But I had to look fancy for it. So going through going into the Jackdaws camp, there's a bloody play going on between me and my tent. I'm like, am I going to sneak around this? I'm like, fuck no. Nietzsche's just going to walk right through the
fuck's
middle of the play
sake.
because it's his camp and he does what he likes.
I think it's fair, though.
He does what he wants.
He does what he wants. He got a few laughs of it. He got a big laugh when he just went into the tent, came out a moment later, just with a huge head of hair off and strutted off.
Incredible. Not to
Everyone's
look your
like, that's
best.
part of it, right?
Spontaneously grew a head of hair left.
Went for the massage, lovely 20 minutes, worth the few crowns, and that was pretty much my night
Just
other
a
than
few
drinking
crowns.
and relaxing.
Very different to how my
Oh, I did
evening
see the
went.
hunkening. The hunkening was a thing to behold.
Oh, I really wish I'd seen that.
What's that?
Think of WWE wrestling,
Oh, yeah.
but like LARP dueling. It's so stupid, but it's so good to see. If you can, go and see it. There's
Is it-
people running around with fake LARP steel chairs and all that lot.
Brilliant.
Fake LARP steel
Steel
chairs.
Which-
Wow.
Anyway, what were the rest
Paradox.
of you guys doing for the rest of the event? Because that's me wrapped up pretty much for the day.
Yeah, I think same. We just kind of rolled out into a quiet evening. What about you, Morgan? What were you up to?
So the last thing I want to talk about is the Deadwood Night skirmish. So we spoke about it like a bunch. That there's this big undead death knight wandering around with an army of undead who was about to unleash said army upon Weirwater and Karov, wanted to turn Dawn into his own undead kingdom. Yeah, not great. So we had a few things put in place to deal with this. First of all, we found out that the first person that was able to put him in the ground without initiating a curse was Enchantress Elise Dulac, so a forebear from our house, and a bunch of my Earl and a bunch of other people had gone to her tomb, and there they met her ghost. And the spirit of Elise had been trapped in her tomb for 2 centuries now, and she wasn't going to be released until the Deadwood Night was dealt with once and for all. For reasons I will not go into, but there's some interesting stuff that was explained by this, but she'd tried some things and they'd fired back in her face, and she was now bound until the Deadwood Night was dealt with once and for all. But she had with her a sword. And this was the sword she used against the Deadwood Knight the first time round and defeated him. Well, didn't defeat him, but it had a great effect on him, basically. Because she actually lost the fight, but he still showed respect and left for ages. So they bring this broken sword back from the tomb of Elise Dulac, and we are going to take it on our mission. Now, we have a location for where we're going to find the Deadwood Knight, where we can challenge him to a tournament. So this is like my 4th or 5th tournament this weekend.
You tawny slut.
I know, right? And we queue up at the gate, and we have a lord doing the doing the spell to open the gate to the right location, and we set off, and as we set off, there's photos of it, really dim light, it's getting towards sunset. But you can still see pretty well. Like, it's not dark by any description. It's just kind of like, the sun is on its way to setting. And we're all there, and there was a phrase that we were using called "end the unending," which was the phrase of the little order that we created. And the gate was opened, and we went through. And the time between us going through the gate and getting to the encounter location, sunset. So it literally went from hazy evening light to black in the woods. And it was like perfectly timed. It was so atmospheric as we arrived. And as we get there, we see a knight. In fact, he looks more like a Russian Schlachter stood there. And there are like 10 other warriors stood in a line behind him as he's pacing, ranting and raving. And the leader of our order goes to speak to him and tries to communicate with him. And then we decide that we're going to have a tournament. So we start our lines, and then the tournament is called, and we charge, we fight. And we attack them pretty well. It's all going really well. We're taking them out. They're going down. The Deadwood Knight is almost impossible to knock down. Continuously fighting. Gets struck down. Gets straight back up. Gets weaknessed. Recovers constantly. But his minions are going down all right. They're good fighters, but they're going down. They're all down. It's just the Deadwood Knight. And the Deadwood Knight goes, no, this will not do. Minions rise. Oh. And every single one, even though we'd executed
like a bloody
them.
boss fight.
Yeah. Every single one, even though we'd executed them, got back up. So we go again. We keep fighting. We're cutting through them. We're destroying them. The Deadwood Knight's getting knocked down. We're using the sword of Elise Dulac to try and do him in. Fighting continuously. All of them go down. We're like, great, surely they can't come up 2 times. No. This will not do. Rise. And they get up
I just
again.
imagine like heads clicking back into place.
Yeah, literally. They're slowly getting back up again. And we're panicking at this point. It's like, what's going on? And it's getting darker and darker. It's like pitch black running around. Kind of fighting them. They're appearing from behind. I'm out of hero points at this point because I saw a magician one. I was like, great, weaknessed him, so he couldn't do anything. But then he got back up again and was fine again. So obviously I'm like, we need to get them down. They just keep getting up and up 5 times. 5 times these things keep getting back up. The sword gets lost at one point. Someone drops it and it's pitch black. So it's scrabbling around trying to find it. Viridian had an excellent idea to do Turn the Circle, which is a ritual which turns bodies into plants.
Okay.
So what we were doing is we were getting them down, we were dragging them over towards him, and he was doing this 2-minute ritual on them and turn them into plants. So when you did the rise, they would come back up again. So we were slowly chipping away at his number, but they kept coming up and up and up. And then someone found the sword again. And we were like, the guy was called Peter of College, was his actual name. And we shout, Peter, we have Elise's sword. And he just stops, turns to the guy holding it and goes, kill that one. And then swarm towards this guy. Fighting continues. Again, pitch black. I'm like, hang on, how long have we been here? The gate's closing. When's the gate going to close? How long have we been here? Panic. No one knows. There's no magician around to cast detect magic. Till finally he starts to go down again, but someone knocks him on the ground. Someone holds him down. Someone gets the sword of Elise and drives it through his body.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
All the minions drop to the ground. He laughs and said, that's the most fun I've had in 4 centuries. And dies.
Hell yeah.
That's dramatic.
It was so cool. And when they were and they were like, right, what do we do with the bodies? And then the ref's like, you watch them slowly sink into the dirt. And we're like, right, detect magic. How long is left from the gate? 2 minutes. Run! And then we hustle out of the gate. But we have officially dealt with the Deadwood Knight.
Hooray!
Done. The whole army collapsed. Yeah. It was amazing. And it's been such an incredible story that, we've the first encounter, the first time they ever faced him was the last summit that the Earl that gave me my test was alive at, and he went on that thing. So it's been a nice kind of arc to come to an end.
Yeah,
really cool story, really cool bit of plot. Like P did really well with that. I thought it was really cool.
Nice.
Now what's going to happen is at some point after the Deadwood Knight was killed, there will be a howl heard throughout the Empire. And that howl is a message from the Howling Queen that she would like a new Deadwood Knight.
Ooh.
And someone you can step forward and become it.
Not tempted at all, Morgan?
Absolutely not.
No, I defeat Deadwood Knights.
It was very funny how many people I said that to, and they looked at their mate like, ooh. I was like, don't, please don't. But yeah, that was very cool. Rest of my evening was drinking, partying. You know, we've got a fun battle tomorrow. I'm sure everything will go fine.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
Possibly go wrong. But I enjoyed getting in my fancy noble kit and cavorting around, having drinks. Saw some good friends in the marches. Then came back to Dawn. Started falling asleep in my chair at 1 o'clock, and I was like, I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
We're getting older now. We go to bed earlier and earlier.
I was literally dropping asleep. I was like, I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
Took it out from your 5 turnies.
Yeah, exactly. I was wearing chain all day. But yeah, super cool. Really cool. And that was kind of the end of Saturday. Is anyone else anything else?
I just a little bit on Saturday night. Straight out of, because right before it was his funeral, I'd been looking for dinner, didn't get it in time, didn't want to miss the funeral. So straight out, I'm like, right, okay, I've got, half an hour to get dinner, and then I need to go and write this puppet show that I was meant to write yesterday that really we should have written in between summits because we have to perform it immediately after the battle on Sunday. So Anna, lovely as she is, offered to buy me some ramen because I never have any money at Empire, and she obviously sells crochet spiders and lots of fun things, and she's like, it's just pretend money anyway. So we went off for a little family dinner with Anna, Jake, Steve, and our friend who, I don't remember their new in-character name, but Nia, who's gone to Wintermark and is now going back to Navarre.
No.
Elfwin, maybe.
No, yeah, maybe.
Maybe, I think so. Sorry, Rebecca. Anyway, ramen ended up taking a lot longer than we thought. We decided to get some pizza to share as a starter, but the people who were making the ramen, both it was their first event anyway. It was their first time making food, obviously, it was their first event, and I think they'd underestimated how busy they were going to be, how much space they'd need to cook, because they were doing it all one at a time. And also there was a bit of a miscommunication where they thought we were going to come tell them when we were ready, but we were actually waiting where the pizzas were. So anyway, it took about an hour and a half. But you know what? It was absolutely delicious. I'm sure they'll be faster next time. Don't discount them. They were really good. And as I say, there was a miscommunication. It wasn't just that it took that long to make. Definitely not. Once they realised we were waiting for them and they were waiting for us, it wasn't too long after that. But anyway, I ran off at one point to get my coke because I was getting cold, and also to find Lana to be like, hey, so that puppet show I was meant to come and find you to write like over an hour ago, because I don't think I really had time to go for food anyway. And they didn't mind at all, bless them. But by the time I found them, by the time I'd eaten, we'd gone through the night market a little bit. I'd had a few drinks at that point. And by the time I'd actually found them at the end of the night, I was like, look, it's too late. I'm a bit drunk. I'm ready to go to bed. What say we try and knock this out in the morning before battle? So, I don't know if we're going to come on to Sunday today or if we're going to leave it for...
Probably have to do another part.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So, if you are wondering whether or not I wrote that puppet show, you might have to wait till next time to find out. Because it was a bit of a time crunch at this point.
I suppose it'll be a battle special.
It will be. Battle
think,
/ slight puppet show palette cleanser.
Everyone who's anyone was at the Sunday battle, I think.
I was monstering.
Yeah, but you're not anyone.
So anyone who's anyone.
I was having the time of my life that one.
All of us except for Tom were fighting that battle, including me, and I don't do lots of fight. But you'll hear about that next time. I think it's time for us to wrap up for the...
I did have...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, I just had 2 more things I'll quickly run through.
2 more in this economy?
I know. I actually did stuff this weekend. So I went on another skirmish because Neve has now got a death wish, apparently. It was against Siaka and Hurricane Heralds. So big, scary, killy machines. She had promised... someone came to... I literally have no idea who this person is. And they were like, oh, I've been told that you guys are up for a skirmish. And I was like, yes. Everyone was like, Neve, no. Like, you've done enough. Like, we're worried about you. And actually 2 members of...
Neve has a death wish, yeah.
2 members of the group did pull Neve aside and were like, hey, we're kind of worried about you. Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. It's better for me to stab bad things than to stab all of you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So...
Can't fault that logic.
Yeah. I mean, I know, right? Like, obviously. So this person just came to our camp. I was like, do you want to go on a skirmish? And I was like, yes, obviously. I was like, give me 10 spaces. Promise me I'll have these 10 spaces and I'll be there. And they were like, yeah. They were like, neither the Dread Shields, 10 spaces, done. You've got it. And I was like, cool. So a few of my lot came and I went over and gave some spaces to the Embercast lot. And Embercast lost a lot this weekend already. And there had been quite a few deaths for that lot, and they are such a wonderful, wonderful group. Like, absolutely so much love for Embercast. And I looked at Austin, their leader, and I was like, don't worry. I was like, I promise you, if they're not coming back, I'm not coming back. Don't worry. It was a big old shit show, absolutely fucking horrific, because it was like at 9:30 again, so pitch black. No one knows what the fuck is up, down, left or right or anything. Yeah, big old shit show. Had to break the news that... I'd lost a couple of Embercast, which was not fun, because Neve was already dying inside anyway. And then she had to go and break the news to Austin, who Neve very much looks up to Austin. He's one of the other line captains in Navarre. And she very much looks up to him. But that was not a fun moment for her. But yeah, I cannot really remember too much from that skirmish. It just was pretty fucked and pretty scary. And then last sort of thing that happened was Songs and Stories. That happens every night in Navarre. Yeah. I don't usually bother going to Songs and Stories because it's just not my bag. Which, if it's yours, fine, cool, you enjoy.
You've got to go at least once, but then whether or not
once.
It's...
Once for me. Like, I've done it once. I've done it now. Like, it's just not my sort of game. Excuse me, sorry. But I was like, it's E4. Like, I'll go for Westwall because, like, it's the last one. Like, I'll go. So we go for Westwall and we get there and people start singing and then someone shouts, Physic. And Edric, absolute fucking hero, just drops whatever instrument they were playing, I can't remember, just drops their instrument, bolts over to the people, to whoever shouted Physic. And then, like, 20 seconds later, someone stood in the Songs and Stories circle and was like, Navarre, we don't usually do this, but we need people armoured and weaponed up now. They didn't even have to finish their sentence before I was already running to camp, chucked my chain on, grabbed my other sword because I only had the one with me. And I was back within not even 30 seconds. And it turns out someone had been murdered at the Songs and Stories circle.
That's crazy.
So it's a whole big thing. And we didn't really know what had happened. We had known that someone had run off towards where our camp is and, like, went through our camp and, like, towards the woods at the back. We were like, oh
Yeah.
shit. So everyone stayed in the songs and stories circle, but instead of on the west wall, like when they're singing it, instead of everyone facing in with their sword to the circle, everyone was facing outwards. And it was like, it was really fucking
Yeah,
cool.
really dramatic.
It was like really like protective and cool. And then there was a couple of us, like Anwin and myself, had doubled up, and we were wandering up and down in the dark, like questioning where people were walking to, like, where have you been? Where are you going? All right, okay, just trying to figure out everything. And we'd found out some information, but it was literally like 2 minutes to midnight.
Yeah, too late to do anything about
2
it.
minutes to 1, I think. Sorry. And I was just like, oh yeah, we can't do anything with this information right now. We're like, God damn it. But yeah, like it was really fucking crazy and cool. And Anwin was like, she was literally like, you were gone for not even 30 seconds, like, and you were armored and chained. What the fuck? And I was like, people are in trouble. Any excuse to hit someone, like, of course. But yeah, so big old drama, and we kind of figure out what happened a little bit on Sunday, but mostly post-event. So
Yeah.
Seems like the crime rate's on the rise in Anvil.
yeah, wildness.
Good.
But yeah, so dramatic end to Saturday night.
Yeah.
But that's me. I'm finally done. Sorry.
No,
No
it's
worries
fine.
at all.
Good stories.
Songs and stories.
Are we looking
Yeah.
forward to next week? They're talking about one of the greatest battles of Empire's time.
The Battle of Sweet Glades, or some people have been calling it the Sweet Glade Massacre,
I think
or the
just
Battle of the
massacre.
Fallen Petals.
That sounds very Halloweeny. The Sweet Glade Massacre.
The Battle of Fallen Petals, I've also heard it called.
It's going to be a fun
Very
one.
Dawnish.
It is. But yes, so as usual, thank you very much, everybody, for listening. Thank you very much to our patrons who are supporting us continuously. You are absolute
love
stars.
you.
House of Live.
If you would like, you help Tom's poor legs as he cycles to keep the lighthouse lights on. As always, if you would like to join them, you can find us on Patreon at Fabletop. If you've not been to Empire and you would like to join us in our silly adventures, you can get £15 off your first ticket by using the codes in the description below, and that also gives us £15 off.
Do it.
The easiest way to support us is to like, share, subscribe, give us a good old rating and review. That is always appreciated.
5-star one, preferably.
Of course, a 5-star review.
Morgan
Nothing-
is trying to lobby to get it a legal requirement for you to
Yeah.
comment on the video.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's down at Parliament every day, hanging on the
Literally,
doors.
yeah.
Kia, let me in.
He's got picket signs.
Kia, they're not reviewing my podcast, Kia. It's fucked up. Do you know how much work Alex puts into this? You monsters. It's fine. He listens to the podcast.
Yeah,
You're Alex.
Keir Starmer.
Keir Starmer definitely
Yeah,
listens.
He's a massive larper.
He always comments and reviews.
Yeah, exactly. But
I've
it can't be public because it's,
Oh, no.
I've
But
heard that Keir and Matt P are best friends.
Yeah. Well, Keir Starmer,
That's a bold claim.
Keir Starmer goes to
I have no idea.
Keir Starmer goes to Empire, but he's in the Imperial Orcs.
Yeah,
Oh,
you would know,
obviously.
yeah.
Obviously, it's for for his protection.
You don't
clearly.
get seen, do
For
you?
the publicity, obviously.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you very much for listening, and we will be back next week where we will be discussing the Sunday battle,
The Sunday
Massacre.
Sunday
Yeah.
Massacre. But yes, thank you very much for
Spoilers.
listening, and we will see you next time.
Can't spell
Bye.
slot without laughter for next week.
Oh my god.
And on laughter we saw.
Slaughter. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.